Hi, all, and welcome to the next episode of Under the Skin. I'm really pleased to be joined by a good friend of mine, Amy Jones. Amy's played for, obviously, the England women's side. She's at the Perth Scorchers in the Women's Big Bash. She's at the Central Sparks and played for Warwickshire previously. So welcome to Amy.
Hi, Anish.
How you doing, Amy? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm brilliant. Thank you. I'm brilliant. I mean, I'm not sure I'll be as good as you. I mean, you're sitting obviously in your hotel room, but you are in Queenstown. So, yeah, obviously, how's that for you?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling very lucky to be here, obviously, at the moment. But yeah, it's an unbelievable place. First time here, but gosh, everywhere you look, it's mountain after mountain. Yeah, so it's a very cool place to come for a bit of a training camp before the series.
Yeah, cool. So obviously you're in New Zealand, Queenstown. When does that series start? Sorry, so the guys at home keeping a following of it.
So we've got a couple games. We've got some warm-up games this week, and then I think it's the 23rd, the first game.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got 3 ODIs and 3 T20s, sort of traveling around New Zealand. So yeah, so six games that will be on telly back home, which is cool.
Yeah, I think the people at home need that kind of stuff right now. That, we're watching the England side playing on Channel 4, obviously in the last Test match, and we will be throughout. And it's just so good to have cricket played. Obviously we're all in lockdown, and it's a bit cold and miserable back here. And it's just good to watch how obviously the men went, and they played really, really well. And it'll be good to watch the women play as well. So no, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. So speaking of lockdowns, it's strange time back home, and I know it's a bit different for you guys. Obviously you're in a biosecure bubble, and you probably were for most of last year as well, but how has that COVID experience been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been really tough. I know, obviously, as a squad, we've been really lucky, but on the whole, it has been really hard. Sort of like everyone, I guess, not knowing like when work, if you like, is like when you're next going to play, and if you'll be able to train. We had, obviously, at the start, we had a big chunk without any training when it was in the first lockdown, when everyone was staying at home. So yeah, I think it's been a really challenging time, and like you say, I think it is, as things are sort of starting to pick up, I guess, or we hope they are, and there's sport on the telly, and things to watch, and because I'm a massive sports fan, and obviously through that period, having no live sport on the telly, I know there's bigger things in life, but just a small thing like that really does sort of give you something to look forward to in the evening if there's a game starting. So I think as these things kind of pick up, and everything back home, the vaccines and things, there's obviously a bit more hope around. So yeah, hopefully we're out the worst.
Yeah, well said. So yeah, we're obviously talking about indoor and a bit of outdoor, but what I want to know is, how did you get into indoor at the very start? We're talking pre-2009 here, but yeah, how did you get into indoor back then?
Yeah, so it was a very long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was through, I was playing outdoor cricket, and I know that there was the World Cup in Bristol.
Yep, in 07,
so home World
yeah.
Cup. Yeah, so I think they were news got around, like there were trials. So I just went down to one of the trials. Can't even remember where that would have been. It could have been, would it have been Notts?
Nottingham, yeah, it would have been Nottingham,
Yeah,
or
Nottingham.
Wolverhampton, one of those two probably at that time. So
Yeah. So I just went down for the trial, having never played before, but obviously playing indoor cricket and playing outdoor cricket. So yeah, just went down, gave it a go, and yeah, I guess got picked for the under 19s. It would have been, but we were a very young squad at the time. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed it from the get-go, really. I think it was just a lot of similarities to outdoor cricket, but also very different, and so I feel like I could enjoy them both separately and draw comparisons.
yeah,
But
no,
yeah, no, really, really fun. I found it. I enjoyed it straight away.
yeah, that makes sense. And everything you just said really does make sense. And obviously you then went on to play in 3 World Cups. So you did 07 at Bristol, which was a home World Cup. You then traveled to Australia in '09, and then you played in South Africa, which was probably one of my favorite ones, in 2011. So yeah, you started quite young. I think you probably played your first one when you were 14 or 13, potentially, or something around that age.
Yeah.
How do you think playing in those 3 indoor World Cups prepped you for what you're doing now? I mean, basically you're a female global superstar right now. So how did playing in the World Cups at a young age help you do what you're doing now?
I think it helped massively. I think just the nature of obviously an international event, um, the feelings that you associate with playing for England, still very much the same. Walking out at an indoor cricket World Cup, the nerves and the pressure and the excitement and all of that is the same. And playing against Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, like top cricketing nations. I felt like every game we were up against it. They were all really challenging. So yeah, I think from that side, sort of, I guess that's just the mental side, I guess, in preparation for big games and things like that. Being exposed to that from a young age, I think, has definitely helped me in sort of just staying quite calm and level-headed. I think that's playing indoors helped that. And then sort of from a skillful side, I think as a wicket keeper, I didn't keep from the start. I started keeping outdoor and indoor quite late. But I think from a wicket keeper in indoor cricket, it's probably the best practice you're going to get because you're up to the stumps to everyone. The ball's swinging late, and you really got to be switched on and sharp. And I think that's something that I've really taken into my outdoor game is I like to be up to the stumps against the seamers because it just feels natural. It always has, which I think is a big thing that's come from indoor cricket too.
Yeah, I mean that's when we try and advertise this game for people, that's, as a keeper, that's one of the things we say is that you're up to everyone, and how that can help you for your outdoor cricket. It's just immense. Like you can feel like you can stand up to anybody. There were some girls that have played indoor that have been tremendously fast, in women's cricket, and you have to stand up. You've got no choice. So that's great to hear. And in terms of your batting as well, you're I've seen you obviously opening for England. You batted in the middle order, so you're a very good batsman, not just a keeper. But how did that help you with your batting stuff outdoors?
Yeah, I think batting similar with obviously the ball swings late, so you have to be technically strong because you obviously, it is a big challenge, and then also just by the nature of how you score your runs in indoor cricket, like playing nice and late, hitting the ball under your eyes is exactly what we want to do most of the time playing outdoor cricket as well. And then obviously playing straight to get the bigger scores is again probably how I bat outdoors anyway. Like I
Yeah,
try to
I was going to say you're good at that. You're good at running down the wicket and whacking the spinners over the top.
Yeah, I like to play straight. So maybe that's come from there as well, to be honest. Now I'm like really reflecting. I think, yeah, there's so many things that I learned at indoor cricket that I do naturally now outside.
Yeah, okay. And quite a quick question, really. This is a lot. I don't want this to really go on too long, but most people, I don't know whether they know you that well in terms of this stuff, but you actually played football for Aston Villa when you were younger as well. So you were doing lots of stuff as a youngster in your teens. You were playing football, you were indoor cricket, outdoor cricket, you were doing so much stuff. But how do you think different sports help you develop as an athlete, towards your cricketing journey, really?
I think as a young athlete, I think it's so important to play as many sports as possible, really. I think if you enjoy lots of different sports, I really don't think you need to feel like you need to pick one really young and just really drive it home and that's all I'm going to do. I think it's great mentally just to get out and play loads of different sports with different people and have different circles of friends and then as an athlete, obviously football, for example, gives you so much more agility and the physical fitness that you might get at cricket training. So I think I think absolutely play as many different sports and get as many different skills out of all of them because a lot of the time they're transferable.
Yeah, no, cool. That's a great answer. So it should be a relatively easy one, I think. Actually, people have struggled with this question quite a lot when I've spoken to them about it. But your best moment indoor and your best moment in your outdoor cricketing careers, what would they be?
Ooh,
I'm sure there's loads, so that's why it's so hard. But
yeah,
yeah,
just narrowing them down. um, this might be boring, but I think I would say it's the same for both in terms of a debut and first game, because they are just big moments that you've obviously worked towards. In terms of indoor cricket, it was a smaller journey because it's so new.
yeah,
It happened a lot quicker, but still stood there, national anthem in the England kit, lined up with your teammates. I think is just an amazing feeling, and you never get bored of it. And yeah, so I'd say debut for both is right up
that's
there. Yeah.
it's a great answer. I mean, look, like you may have thought it was boring, but there is no better feeling than that. You know, there's no better feeling than standing with your mates and your teammates, singing that national anthem about to represent England. And whether it be, you know, outdoor cricket, indoor cricket, another sport, it's the best feeling in the world. You know, obviously you had some other good options in there, making it to the World Cup final in 2011 against Australia. That was pretty cool to see you girls go on and after your 4 or 5 year journey, actually make the World Cup final. And you narrowly missed out to Australia. Obviously, they're a fantastic side, but we actually thought you were going to win that one. And then obviously outdoors, you've done so many brilliant things. So yeah, no, that's a great answer though, to be fair. Well done. So the ECB, you know, they've since we were there, you know, 2011. So I think this might be slightly off in time dates. I think it's right, but 2011 we come back from South Africa, and then we actually we ended up being housemates after that. And women's cricket was in a very different situation than it is now. So the whole dynamic of women's cricket was changed by the ECB a little bit later. I think 2014 potentially that happened. You know, after your 2 or 3 years at uni, and you got central contracts, and they did a fantastic job. But do you think if, you know, women's and girls teams playing indoor cricket during the winter can have a positive effect on the way they play as a team in the summer? So, for example, we bring in outdoor teams to play indoor. How will that affect them as a unit when they go to outdoor season?
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that could benefit. Um, I think yeah, obviously all of the things we've already spoken about, but yeah, specifically for the team and working as a team is not something you get the opportunity to do through the winter. So um, I think it would be great. Yeah, exactly for that reason that you can in the winter it can get a bit tiresome. Just you know, you go into the indoor school and you're working on your bits, which you obviously need to do, and there's absolutely time for that. But I think a competitive aspect, which obviously indoor cricket naturally offers through the winter months, would be yeah hugely beneficial. I think.
Yeah, no, couldn't agree more. You know, it's nice to have that balance of doing training and drills and nets, but also playing matches as well. You know, it's good
Yeah,
just tactically and game awareness and all those things are improved. So yeah, no, it is good. And obviously, naturally, the more you play together as a team, the better you guys gel, the better you understand each other's games, all those things. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Don't want to put you on the spot, but best indoor player you've ever played with or against?
um, not to choose an Australian, but they are pretty good.
Yeah,
I think I'd have to go with Claire Koski. I just remember obviously playing is quite a while ago now, so memories aren't as clear as they used to be. But I think she just used to just dominate from what I remember. You know, a really good all rounder. Um, which obviously really that I think obviously you have to bat bowl and field. So I think you know all rounders can really excel at indoor. And yeah, I just remember she was brilliant. She bowled quicker, she hit the ball harder. She's a real athlete.
yeah,
We
she was
have
incredible, wasn't she? It was just simple
yeah
as that. Watching her play was fantastic.
Yeah.
And she's done quite well for herself outdoors, I believe, as well. She's played in the Big Bash and other things.
Yeah, we
So
cross paths outdoors as well. Yeah, she's done well. She's done well in the Big Bash and state cricket, I think, for ACT.
yeah,
So yeah, another good example of somebody who's really excelled at both.
cool. And so normally, what I would say to my the guests on this show as such, I'd be saying to them, who in your outdoor team would be really good at indoor. But most people may not realize this, but the England women's team actually played for 2 or 3 years in the British Opens and stuff. It might have been longer than 2 or 3 years, but they were a very, very good team. Obviously, when they were playing, they'd won that British Open, I think 2 years on the trot. The Loughborough Bulls, as you were known, because you're all based in Loughborough. And I think that was, I forgot who played, but I think it was Catherine Brunn, Nat Siver, yourself, Beth Langston, Danny Wyatt potentially, and
Danny Wyatt came along, I think. Fran Wilson, I think.
Jenny Gunn, might have played the odd game, and Tammy Bowman, I think, played one open. Remember, well, she was certainly there.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously you guys, it just shows just how similar the game is, because you guys came to play in those opens, which are great fun, not just in a cricketing point of view, but they were brilliant to socialize with a load of other girls and meet people, and it was fantastic. And obviously for the girls playing in that tournament, to play against you guys would have been so much more for them, because they would have just been like, you guys were almost idols to those players, and to play with you, be talking to you on the court and whatnot would have been class. But who do you think out of the people that haven't played before would be a really good indoor cricketer, and why? I don't mind, actually, if you got a good why. I don't mind if it's a current player that's already played it before as well.
Okay. I need to think. I might. Right. Who hasn't played? I've got a quick one whilst I think of who has played, and that would be Natalie. For obviously, she's a very talented cricketer in general, as they all are. But she's a very athletic all rounder.
Yeah.
Which is obviously very handy. Hits the ball hard and straight, and just rapid in the field. Someone actually, Maddie Villiers just popped into my head. I think she'd be brilliant. One of our newer players. She's again a really good all rounder. Batting, she can just hit loads of different areas. Rapid between the wickets, and an excellent fielder as well. So I think next time we're in England for the British Open, and I think we'll get Maddie in.
Yeah, no, that would be quality. And obviously we'd love to have the girls playing again at some point, or even just coming down and just seeing everyone again, because no, not many of the faces have changed since then. A lot of the indoor players still play, and it's fantastic. So I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to ask about indoor cricket. So I guess the next question centers around, I saw a video, I think I mentioned this when we spoke before, but we saw the Birmingham 2022 video. I gave it a go. I'm getting a bit old, my eyes aren't as good, so I managed to do it but how are you girls looking forward to representing in the Commonwealth Games? Obviously first time cricket will be in that. How do you feel about that?
Just so excited, really. I've been lucky enough to be sort of a part of some athlete panels and the kit things. I think they've latched on to me because I'm from Birmingham, obviously. But it's been brilliant. I've obviously just been involved in different conversations around it, a bit behind the scenes, if you like. So just because obviously it's just so new to us, the Commonwealth Games, something that you watch as a fan, and we're always really interested in. But it's never really been on our radar in terms of playing. It's just never really something we thought that would happen. So it's come quick, and it's sort of a lot of unexpected. But it's just we're just so excited. I think to be part of a big team England is something that we've never had. So that in itself will just be brilliant, and watching all the games, being in a village, and I think it's going to be brilliant. And I think for women's cricket, it's just going to do wonders, really. I think there's obviously going to be a new audience. We'll reach more people who wouldn't necessarily tune into a cricket game, but they would the Commonwealth Games, and hopefully they can stumble across us and enjoy what we do. And so that side of it, it's really exciting as well.
No, that's amazing. No, I'm looking forward to that. It seems like a while off now, but yeah, obviously our centre's based in Birmingham, our headquarters. So a few links there and stuff, but we're really looking forward to watching that. So, we mentioned obviously you're in New Zealand prepping right now for this series. Is there anything specifically you personally are working on or doing over there, for your game?
Yeah, we've got we're a couple of days in now, but it's a 9-day camp before, including 2 warm-up games. But before we go, so a little time to work on like some technical things. I think keeping wise, I'm kind of exploring how I can dive further and just be a bit more. Obviously, I've done a lot of work standing up, so just sort of sharpening up, standing back. And we've got Michael Bates, the wicket keeping coach, and he's brilliant. So I feel like every session I'm learning something new, which is a great place to be in. I think it's like really exciting. Yeah, and then batting, just sort of building on. Did a bit of work when I got back from before the Big Bash actually, and then carried on afterwards, just in my stance. So I've just sort of lowered my hands a bit, which feels a lot more natural, to be honest. I've played around with my stance a lot and had lots of different inputs and things like that, which has been great. But I guess, yeah, just going back to what feels more natural and
Natural. Yeah, no,
yeah.
that's cool. I mean, I think we've just got a little bit of time. I'm really conscious that you've got to go and get ready to get to training. I hadn't planned this, but in terms of the Big Bash and the 100 coming up and these things, what really excites you about these tournaments that are happening and stuff. So
Yeah, I
thank
think it's
you for that.
brilliant. Just more and more are popping up. You always hear things like, will there be an IPL soon? And obviously they've had the, I think it's a three team
Yes, yeah.
tournament. So yeah, hoping like that expands. And yeah, the 100, obviously we missed out on it last year. So the excitement around that is just continuing to build, and hopefully this year it can go ahead as normal. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of not sure what to expect with that. It's obviously a completely new format, new teams, and yeah, I think it's just all so exciting. The Big Bash obviously been running for years and really well established, and a great tournament to be a part of. It's brilliant to get out to Australia. Like lots of the girls love going there anyway, and yeah, I just think it's so exciting. There's so many opportunities for girls to play on the big stage now, and yeah, it's brilliant to be a part of that.
Good, great stuff. Yeah, so the last thing was we're obviously in a really big growing phase at the minute. We see it as a great time to grow the sport, specifically in the winter. And one of our big objectives are always, I think everybody's objective all the time, women's and girls. So we're looking at launching a few different comps, whether it be more university-based comps because they don't get to play too much in the winter. Obviously, looking at getting the county age group girls coming across because again, there's not all of these sides don't really play a lot of matches in the winter, so we're just exploring different avenues to how we can get them involved. I mean, we have been running it for the last 2 years, like a regional RDC tournament.
Oh yeah.
So obviously the younger ones of like the Loughborough Lightning, like they call the Loughborough Sparks actually, and so on and so forth, have actually all been coming up to Birmingham on one day a year, and they play against each other, and it's absolutely wicked to see like that. There's so many talented young players coming through, and yeah, they've given indoor a go, and some of them obviously really enjoy it. Some of them just don't enjoy the fact that you can't whack a 6 over square leg. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, no, it's been great fun. So we've got lots of aims and stuff for growing it. So yeah, we'll keep you obviously in the know about what's happening. Maybe you could be a bit of a background champion for us as well. And the last question before I let you go is any tips for any youngsters looking to follow in your footsteps really and make it as an international cricketer?
I think just really simple things, but just make sure you enjoy it. Like I think growing up, if I didn't have friends that I enjoyed playing with and all of that side of it, I wouldn't have carried on. So I think really, take the time to get to know your teammates and to make friends, because they make it so much better. And cricket is a very sociable sport. Obviously, you spend a lot of time together, so that is a key thing, I would say. And then other than that, just try not to overthink. I think there's also, which is an easy thing to say and a hard thing to do, but I think if you can keep it as simple as possible, and yeah, train hard so that when you do go out there, you can just watch the ball and react and trust your instincts. Yeah, so I'd say, I'm not sure how many were in there, but there's a
No,
couple.
no, no. They're all great points, and obviously we have. I mean, we spoke earlier, but there's so many young junior players playing this now. So any insight they can get from players like yourselves and the other guests that we've had is so valuable to them. So thank you very much for that, and thank you for joining us in a really busy schedule. And it's been a real privilege for us to have you on here. And yeah, I just can't thank you enough. And we'll see you again, obviously, when you guys are back. And best of luck. We hope you smash New Zealand. So yeah.
Yes. No, thanks for having me. That was great.
No worries. Cheers, Amy. Thank you.